Chat, honestly, let's talk. You guys have tried this out for a while, right? What do you think about this quick finder? Fractal quick finder. We're obviously gonna get something in raids, but let's start with fractals. What do you like about it, or what do you don't like about it? Because I assume eventually this does get put into higher tier difficulty, and so I'll be honest. I think for fractals, I don't know if it's I guess actually it works, but I'm more worried about like once you get into the CMs levels or the T4s, you kind of need a coordinated group effort there, right? Like you can definitely pug it. You can still pug it. People still do that on the LFG, but with quick play, right? Like there's little barrier to separation from someone who's just like going in blind and maybe doesn't even play the content versus players who like already do it anyway, right? Because you could still like vote to kick people off the party. What it's like is that people leave or sit AFK. Like today, one of them said, "Oh, I don't like this friend," just left the group. But like, what happens when that happens? Does the group reset? You go back to Lion's Arch, or is it still in the actual instance and then you get like a new person who joins you in the party? Because like again, like if it just like resets you back, then that kind of messes it up. And then if it disconnects, if someone disconnects or leaves. I wonder actually, like, does that mean now you have to post it on LFG instead of wait for the quick finder to give you someone? But you can invite for quick play, but the other person won't get the award. Then that does kind of suck though. Then you defeat the purpose of actually ever putting up on LFG. Then like you just go without them. I can see for like T1 and 2 it's fine, but T3, T4 there'll be people who will struggle to do 3 people or 4 people. I could see how that could be a bit of a miss. You can just put the group on LFG. But it kind of like messes it up, right? Because like the flow is there, you're in and out, and then you have to wait like a minute for someone to fill the party. So that I guess that would not be fun. Although I am a fan of this. It was always like a wonder like why we've never had a fractal open finder, right? Like open group finder. I think it's a good idea in general. It just gets you quick content, quickly done. I do feel like they will need to figure out when it gets to the T4 levels, unless they choose to make this always very entry level and kind of like apply a nerf. If you're in the open finder, open group finder in fractals, even if it's a T4, it's a slightly nerfed T4. That could work a little bit if it's trying to get people into the mode that haven't even played the mode. I can see how like that could help. But it's one of those game modes like where fractals, I feel like the nerf is not as needed. Like I wouldn't want a nerf T4. Like T4 fractal CMs, I guess maybe there'll be groups that can't ever do it, but you know, like I think it's a good addition. In general, in my opinion, it's good. But I'm curious. I actually am curious to see lots of other people's opinions on it and like how their experience been with the fractals. But again, speaking on that, right? Like going to raids, because we know raids is bringing it anyway. I feel like with raids, it's interesting because it doesn't change the fact that, you know, groups who already like, you know, raid together like are gonna leave. But it does give that sense of like, if you want to raid at any time, you don't have to go through LFG. Just go through the raid. Open group finder on the raid. And I'm kind of hoping they are kind of gonna do like almost like a nerf. You know, because if they've done it with fractals, they're probably already thinking of this in raids, right? But they kind of do like a nerf of like the bosses in raids, because that would allow it where you can kind of, you know, because plugging in LFG is different. People still search for roles, right? Like a proper group still looks at like roles, and they still look at like we need this or that. So even with LFG, you're still kind of there's some sort of requirement, right? Or there's some sort of like, this is what the squad needs right now, and then you know they fit it to whoever joins. Whereas this open group finder is just straight to it, right? You queue up and then it just throws you in with 9 other people. Buffing down the reducing the damage of the bosses would help, or even the mechanics, right? So with the numbers, like I said, I think they have the numbers. They can most likely do it. It's very doable. You know, they just apply numbers. I mean, they know all the infos on the raids. They know like what hits how much and all of that, and some of that is also like known info. So it's like Yeah, reducing like mechanics to not make them as punishing. I think that would be the way, right? So that's what WoW does, right? Like WoW, the same thing. Again, like something that is nice about WoW is that they have those different tiers, right? You got the finder, right? Like the raid finder or dungeon finder. So you get into the same raid, it's the same experience. You have this, like, you can do the raid as a story. You could do the raid as an open finder raid, which is it's literally the mechanics of the raid are there, but on a much reduced level. Then you got your mythics and heroics, right? Heroic and mythic. But it gives you like levels, branches of level of experience to do the content, which is something we didn't only get until recently in Glorious 2. You have your normal mode, challenge mode, and legendary mode now, which is even way harder edition. I actually saw one thing about the raids though that they mentioned in the release sort of news, which I'm wondering actually if this is, did I misinterpret it or something? But I saw that they said you could also like skip to a boss, like, or jump right into a boss. They said something like jump right into the boss. So like you just like skip all the way to Doom in Wing 5, like straight to Doom. Yeah, so that's actually pretty interesting. That's very cool. Because I feel like there's a lot of people who like want to do a certain boss in a certain raid, and that's the only boss they want to do. They don't want to go do the first two. They want to go right into the third one or something. They want to consolidate strikes into raid encounters, so yeah, I think it will work like that. Well, the strikes, they said, like, they're basically merging the strikes into the raid aspect, right? Honestly, that alone is going to be pretty good. But, like, leaving the strikes to be their own little reward system, like with the crystals, it honestly, like, was a miss. The fact that they've combined strikes into raids, you can now do strikes and still earn the raid content to get, like, the raid gear, right? Legendary raid gear. Huge plus, huge benefit, really good benefit. So like that in itself, combining them plus with the group finder already makes for like a interesting piece of content. Like I have to give it to them with the QOL stuff that they've been doing. They have been really improving on the quality of life features. We've seen it with the Wizard's Vault. We see it being stepped up with stuff like this. Hell, they even added the 6th slot for the guilds. For World vs. World, like they last 2 years, honestly, this expansion model, they, you know, every year, like with Secrets of the Obscure, and I've seen the post for Jantier Wilds, they always talk about like how it's a learning experience, but they seem to have like, you know, they keep taking stuff and adding it, and like this raid finder is gonna be something that can help. From what I've seen, I've not seen a lot of players who are interested in like, oh, I have to get into a Discord and then find an actual group, and that's fine, I guess. Not everyone wants to do the extra steps. There are people who definitely like don't want to just do that, right? Like they don't want to have to be like, I have to go through a Discord to get to a group. Some people are like, why can't I just do it in the game? NFG is there, but again, NFG, I think there's this awkwardness with players where like if they go through it, they just don't like the experience. And there's also players who don't write the right things, right? Like they don't ask for exactly what they need. And players who join a group that clearly wants something and that person didn't join giving exactly what was needed, even if that was like the only class left. So this kind of skips a little bit of that, right? Like you don't need to go through the awkwardness. Just go in, do the raid. The raid is pretty much, you know, damage of the bosses are decreased by maybe 10, 15, 20%. Mechanics aren't as punishing. It's just straight to it. And you get to do the whole raid experience, right? Like you kind of get a little bit of the raid experience. I don't see anything wrong with this. So yeah, I think that's honestly my take on this. Raid Finder is good. Combining strikes with raids is good. You can finally earn the rewards without actually, you know, players can actually just do strikes and never do raids and get the legendary raid armor. That's a little bit sad though. To be honest, that's a little bit sad, but game is game.